welcome back to the hottest marriage show in our neighborhood. It's I, John D. and
Kanika,
aka
Do.
In Too Much Podcast. Good morning, my love.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Okay. You?
I'm fantastic. Enjoying this wonderful time I get to spend with you.
We love days off.
We do. I got a question for you. I told you that on one of the apps I use, there's people that can ask questions.
That's right.
And she said that her husband's not interested in marriage counseling. In our marriage, the things that are typically taboo for men to want to do, do you recall mentioning marriage counseling to me? And like what point in our marriage?
I remember when I was younger, when we were much younger, we were in Atlanta. And you told me that I needed to go see somebody because I needed help. And I went to talk to them and I gave them the lowdown and they said, hey, bring him in here. And I told you, they said, why is he not seeking any counseling? And I said, he told me that I'm the one who needs it. And he was like, I remember it was a male counselor. He was like, no. And then when I talked to you about it, you were like, no, you need it. That ain't about me. And then that was the end of it. But fast forward to 21, somewhere around there. We talked about it again as a possibility, but I think we never really got to couples counseling because we did individual. And then we kind of resolved some of the things that we were struggling with, and then it kind of just came together. But marriage counseling, I've thought about it before, but not enough to I remember when I said it initially, it was hard. When John came back, we had been separated by oceans for almost 2 years. And he would come home as much as he could. Well, he would come here as much as he could. But a week or 2 weeks of you being here over a 2-year span, it was just really hard. So when he came back, the transition, you think it's going to be great. You're like, I can't wait. But you guys are two different people now. I was parenting alone for the most part for 2 years. You were alone for 2 years. We had the pandemic going on. And it was like somebody that I was Velcro to for most of my adult life. I was all by myself. So I was a different person when you came back and you were a different person. And I told him, I said, okay, I think I need my therapy. You need your therapy. And then we're going to come together and we're going to have marriage therapy. But it didn't end up being that way. I kind of felt like once we had managed those individual things, we just didn't get to that point. Did you feel like that? Did you ever feel like we should have had marriage counseling?
No, in the last 3 or 4 years, I thought about it. But I realized I don't think we really needed it. It was more so me needing the counseling. I should have had it a long time ago, but it wasn't a regular thing. And you really made me believe that everything was okay. Mm-hmm. So why would I think we need counseling? Mm-hmm. When you mentioned it, I just couldn't understand it. And I don't feel like you really tried to help me understand. And I probably wasn't trying to hear it anyway. But looking at it, I think that if somebody can say it, then it can't hurt.
Yeah.
And I think we need to get away from the idea that you only need it if something's wrong. It can open up things that you never considered. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea that I have a different perspective because I'm with you is the same thing with us. We have a perspective as a couple, but hearing other people's experiences or somebody can bring out things that we didn't even consider because we're looking at it. So a man not wanting to go, he relates it to something's wrong. And even though something could be wrong, he doesn't think it's wrong enough to go to a counselor. He has to look at it as, this is just another way for us to get to know each other. I'm not qualified to do. I want to learn you. And if you look at it as it's going to unlock a part of us to get better, I think it's an easier way to look at it because everybody associates a doctor or somebody, some type of therapist as something's wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, how many people do you, first of all, in our community, how many people do you know that are just readily going to have therapy? But then on top of that, whoever sends the message that therapy is good, even when there's nothing wrong?
Well, so the only people I do see it are people that are probably middle class or higher. But outside of that, like the messages we got were just off of television.
Yeah.
We didn't know anybody who was getting therapy. Yeah. And then if you did, you was at school and it was like somebody says they got therapy and it was like, oh, something wrong with him.
We were so horrible. I promise. Every time I think about us as kids,
but that was
we thought was funny, or
our parents taught us that. Like
my mom didn't make fun of people.
Your parents make fun of people. Maybe you don't think there's a different way they make fun of people. With your little shirt on, with your little, don't trip. You know what making fun.
If you put little on anything, shorts. It makes it so fun.
See, I'm just saying, y'all got your own code.
We do. Okay, point taken.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think as a culture, we're just funny that
we have to be.
Everything is
it's harder, and it's at least it appears to be more difficult. So we want to make fun. We want to have fun during the difficult periods.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, it's not funny, but we're gonna have some. Yeah, we're gonna make fun.
And I don't know who I was talking to yesterday. Yes, they were talking about these kids need whoopings, and I was like, "No, I don't think so." And I was like, "No, they do." I was like, "No, you just hoping that's gonna change the behavior, but they're gonna have to deal with it as adults." And then I saw something light up on because these women are older than me.
Okay.
And I looked at them, and they were like, yeah, you're right. They are. I was like, well, it's got to be a different way because we don't want to deal with that when we're older. You know, parents only doing what they can do, you know, but as far as, I know I got off, but marriage counseling, the reason why I brought it up to you, because I wanted to see what I could say that could, because I'm looking at me, how hard I was or narrow-minded, like, what can other people, I think I'm the extreme. I don't think everybody's that married to a John. I know, so it could be an easier way for them to be able to say things where they might be more open to it versus dealing with somebody like me.
Yeah.
You know, so like looking back, what do you think, if you knew I could get to this person, if you truly knew, you was like, how do I do it? What would you say now? What would you like, you know, with the information that you've learned, what kind of seeds would you have planted for me to be able to start maturing at a faster rate?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I would have to appeal to what you find important.
Well, you wouldn't have being more committed to like, we need to go to marriage counseling?
Well, that's the thing, is that you were very much so somebody who, if somebody tries to set the tone, you'd be like, let me see, I'm a manhandle strong arm a little bit myself. And if I told you, okay, we need to go to marriage counseling, depending on the stage in our marriage and in the stage of your own maturity, you could easily say, we don't need to do that.
No, I get it. But I'm saying with the information that you know now, knowing who I am, what do you think? And the only reason why I'm asking this is because I'm trying to get you to think outside of the box, just in case we have married women that want counseling because they're married to somebody with a personality similar to mine. Like, we don't need it to help them. Like,
and at the same time, you're going to give your perspective too, because you're the
person. I can tell you. I can tell. Okay. Like, yeah, I mean, well, with me, I mean, honestly, just like you did any other thing, you kind of just introduce it. Like, there are a lot of things that you said, and I fought on it, but I changed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think maybe not have a list of things, but probably just addressing the things, because I wasn't trying to do it to make you mad. So if it made you mad, you think I was trying to do it again? I just didn't like how you told me you didn't like it the first time, and I'm like snapping.
Yeah. You know, and that was one of the things. I don't know. I guess I feel like instead of focusing on the things that bothered me, the pattern that I'm seeing in your behavior, I would more so put it as you and I both are lacking. Like, okay, so let's sit here and think about, like, we are a product of our parents. And our children are a product of us. And so looking at our parents as individuals and as married couples and then as separated, there are some things that we got from those people that are like not great. So going to marriage counseling is kind of helping us to take from those things that are valuable to us and learn how to throw away the things that are not helping us. You know what I mean? And knowing who you are now, even then before, when you were younger, if I would have been able, you were very honest about not liking how your family, your parents' marriage impacted you. And I felt the same way. So if I did it where it wasn't really about us directly, it was about where we came from. And we both agreed long ago that we took on a lot of those ideas. Like, you know, a lot of their experiences, we decided how we were going to live our life based on that. I think it would have been more effective for me to look at it from the perspective of, let's go make sure that we fine tune some things. And there's a counselor that can help us with understanding this part. When I used to talk to you about, I used to come to John and I will have a long list of the same pattern of activity. And he'd be like, why are you waiting until it's all this stuff that's going on and then you just throw it all on me? Anything that directly would shine a light on John's behavior as being undesirable, he would immediately fight back. Okay, well, this is undesirable to me that you do. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes a battle. And then after that, if we go long enough, I'm too tired, and then we're not going to go to marriage counseling and be like, never mind, you know what, whatever you want to do is what you want to do. Or it wasn't even marriage counseling at the time. It was just kind of resolving it. Like, I want you to see this pattern so you can see what I'm talking about. And then maybe you can figure out where is the thing that's making you do this so we can stop it. But yeah, zeroing in on a specific behavior or something that went on with us or anything that could be attributed just to you, it immediately stopped the whole show.
Right now. Because in my head, I thought that I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. But if I said that there's some things lurking in the background based off of some other stuff that other people were doing and it can impact us and the kids, I think you would have been more likely to try at least one time. And if it felt like it was too focused on him and in your behaviors, then he'd probably be like, I ain't going back there again. But if it were like, we're going in there, what is it called? Like a team building exercise. Like, this is going in for team building. If we were to approach it that way and not necessarily that anybody has anything particularly wrong, it's just like, you know, we got to solidify some stuff. I think it would have been more effective knowing you.
Yeah. I think now, even then, like I really do believe if people know that it can be better, they'll try. Like, if they don't think it'll be better, they won't try. Like, you have to see some type of results to consider I'm going to work with this when nobody's looking. So the type of person I was, I'm like, hey, your relationship, all right, it could be better. Do you want it to get better? Or is this where you think the ceiling is? Like, you guys can create a different relationship if you actually worked on it on purpose. And let's say if I wasn't trying to hear that, I heard it though. Mm-hmm. You don't think I'm going to listen to that at some point and reflect like, what the hell am I doing? So I'm saying that just because you don't get the response that you want immediately does not mean they're not thinking about it over and over. That's why I said the seed is way more important than people think. Mm-hmm. Just because they don't have time for you in that moment don't mean they won't have time to think about it, because nobody, just imagine if you think you're right and then you heard it, and you're like, why didn't I know that already? And then you're not going to tell nobody, but you're going to work on it and be like, if I'd have knew this before. So that's why I said I wanted to know from your perspective, because I know that I can tell you what I was thinking, why I was thinking that way. And if you said it, because there's certain things that you've done, I'm telling you, if you said you didn't like it, I really tried my best to not do it again. But it really kind of depended on, like, you know, how I told you, she has a problem with expressing herself as an emergency for a bug. It'll be like a bug, like it's a fire or something. And
They just start on me.
Yeah, I know, but there's a level of, so with you, I think if you would have known that about me, just all I got to do is tell you this. You may not do it, but even you said it recently in a few episodes ago. You were like, John used to do what I asked him to, but it was going to be on his time.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine if you did introduce all of the things or whatnot at some point, I would have tried to take it off. Like, even when I would remember in Abu Dhabi, when I felt like you kept telling me you're doing all of these things, I was secretly trying to pull things off of your plate. And
there was still more stuff on.
It was, but
he pulled a lot of stuff off, but I was like, hey.
Yeah, but I didn't have enough information. Like, check this out.
It was like a Thanksgiving plate. It was like
imagine you think she only has 2 hands, but she has 3 hands behind her back that she hasn't even revealed. So if I'm looking at her hands and it's like, oh my gosh, like every time I'm pulling something off, I don't know that she's taking something off from her back to put it up.
And this too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but my point is, like, as your husband, like, the worst part of our relationship, the lowest part of our relationship, I didn't want you to feel like I was not doing everything I could.
Yeah.
So it never crossed my mind. Like, I can't act like I'm looking for more chores to do or more whatever. I don't know you're doing all of these things. So I think that if you would have known to say those things and not expect like the turnaround time of immediate, but maybe if I just did it immediately, we probably wouldn't be here. Yeah. We probably would be like so much further advanced. But I wasn't mature enough to know. That's why I said most men aren't.
Yeah, but also I wasn't mature enough then to know how to address things.
Oh, yeah.
We were learning each other.
Absolutely. But that's why I was wondering, like, looking back, the information you have now, you know me better. I feel like you could be like, okay, I could have done this. I didn't know. But knowing that I know now, this is what I would have done. And I think that there are people in real time right now then that wish they had the information you have now. So.
Oh, yeah, I definitely have conversations with the kids where I use some of the strategies I've learned with us. I've translated it to how they communicate with people about a grade or a kid that might be overstepping boundaries and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm definitely passing on what I've learned, but as a young wife, I wish somebody would have said that to me, offered that.
I think even as a young married couple, I didn't think I needed advice.
Really?
As crazy as it sounds, that just shows you how much you were doing.
He's like, all of it's working. We don't need no help.
No. And, I think, you don't get enough credit as far as the strength you had to have, because I look back, like, I know I do more now, but the idea that you were just doing all of that and not making a big deal out of, me, it says a lot about what you thought women were supposed to do. And like, I can see why a woman would want to run, or like, you know what, I can really do this by myself. And he's not going to just take my piece away from me if he's not, you know what I'm saying? So like, when I think about it, I'm like, man, I'm glad we went to Abu Dhabi, because that gave you a break as far as like, okay, maybe this could be more fun, because I don't know how much more of Atlanta you could have done. Mm-hmm. And I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that the Abu Dhabi gave the break, but it also allowed me to grow up. And it allowed me to like try to figure out what I needed or what I wanted or what I thought I wanted, and it's just as a father and a husband. Because I don't think without that break, my life would have been still just moving too much, where I couldn't have sat down and really reflected the blessings I've had, like right in front of me. So getting to this point, I guess we're supposed to know. We're here. We're happy. We're not faking it. So it's just trying to give other people some options. Okay, if you wanted to work, you should consider doing this. Because mostly I think they already know everything. And look, I told you just now, right now, it's 46, that we didn't need no advice. That's how confident I was. But that's my confidence in you, because I thought everything was good.
Yeah, I think the other thing that was difficult was when you're younger and you get married, you don't have a lot of peers that, like, your peers don't know either. So y'all are all floating around telling each other similar stories about things that are going on, or, you know, my stories, my beef isn't the same as yours, but, you know, nobody is wise enough or they don't have the experience to be like, hey, try this while we're growing up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would hope that somebody had like some parents.
Well, I think that that's what parents are for. But I think that it can also be very lopsided. Like, by the time we got married, your dad had passed on. And even so, you didn't really like how he managed relationships. So you seeking out information from him, you know what I mean?
Well, I only really had one person that I could really get the advice from, and they said, you'll figure it out. So, yeah, like, you'll figure it out.
So the elders got to be okay with being elders. But we already talked about this before. Not all elders are wise. Like, not all older people. You got older adults in your life, but you got elders. And the elders are the ones that can impart some type of wisdom onto you. I hope to be an elder.
I think we are already.
Yeah. But I think that there are a lot of older people in our lives that they didn't even really figure it out. They're still floating around. They don't even know. So they don't have anything they haven't processed enough to even impart any wisdom onto us. So, but I don't want that to be the case for our kids or any of the kids in our friends, you know, our friends' children or anything. I think that that's probably something that we really should be working on, is not only continuing to progress in our own lives and improve, but being someone that can give valuable information.
But you don't think we can in that aspect, in that realm?
Yeah, I do. But I don't think that everyone is even thinking about that.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think we all should be thinking about what will we provide to those younger than us. You know what I mean?
Well, I think just the overall evolution of this podcast with you and I think it's become what I thought that we would become, like a voice of options to get better in a relationship, to show like you can watch our growth. If you like really think about the way we started and then how we continue to go on, like our conversations are a lot more fluid. And before it was a lot of conflict, and sometimes we could like want to like strangle each other.
Yeah, I think that was one episode where I'm like, cut. But, you know, I'm going to listen to our first one. I think I'm going to go back and listen because it's been 2 years now. 2 years now? 3 years now?
Yeah.
Wow. November, yeah.
21.
Yeah. I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to that because we were young men too.
Yeah.
Every year we were young.
We were. And it's pretty cool because, what was it, 22? I don't know. But anyways, we just where we were then to now it's just a testament to like work. Like, and not at any, like when I say work, I don't want to seem like it's stressful. In the beginning it was because we were learning how to communicate. I was learning how to communicate so she could understand what I was saying versus figure out what I'm saying. But over the course, I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I was talking to people anyway, like it didn't matter. And I had to learn how to speak. And if I love my wife, how she don't listen to me if she can't stand the way that I talk? So I learned so much about me that I couldn't do nothing but like want to get better, because I'm like, I was beating you up a lot. And the younger people who was watching us, like I said, I didn't know I was talking to you that way. And when I say this, I'm just talking about tone. If she says something that I don't like, it's like it's a really nasty tone. And I'm thinking about other men who do that don't know that they sound like that. That's going to be a very uncomfortable position for a woman, thinking like, well, you know, like they may feel like they have to deal with her. So how do you feel like we can help that situation? Because I don't think any woman wants to get beat up, and you're just exchanging information like this could be better, and then you hear this this is one of those areas because I have to improve. It's focused on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like you said, you would introduce things to me and I would, if it's too much on me, I'm going to like not do it or like put it on you, like be tipped, like who wants to do that? And that's a petty game to play. So how do you think we could have, what do you think we could have done differently in that aspect? For me.
That's the thing, is that it had to be somebody who was already open to it and you already felt like you knew what you were doing.
I know, but you don't think it was anything you could have said to me? We like, hey, I just don't like the way you talk to me, the way you talk to me, you talk to me. And then, this used to be crazy to me too. You used to say, you talk to your friends different from me. I said, no, I talk to you just like I talk to you the same way. And then this is when I realized I was like,
you probably shouldn't be talking to me the same way.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. For someone who said that early on in your marriage, you didn't feel like needing any help. You had this locked and loaded. I just kind of feel like I can't really say this is what you should say to your guy because everybody is unique. And like you said,
these are all suggestions. If they don't have the option.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Like when I used to present things to you and say that these things hurt me, it didn't move you.
It didn't, because I didn't believe it.
I know. And so if you tell somebody this is hurting me, like, can we fix this? If they approach it that way, like, how do you fight that? I mean, really, it's about, truthfully, the way I look at it with Day is, if you present something to somebody, you say, this is what really hurts me, and they be like, I don't believe it. Leave them. Because, like, we don't have time to be playing games and giving up stress and your edges. So he can, like, me at this point, in knowing about how people are, like, I just can't encourage Day or Dallas to move through life and say, I'm just going to keep working on this person that's unwilling to grow. And then I'll just fight that good fight until they're willing to do it. You could be waiting for years.
Oh, I know. I don't suggest that at all.
Yeah. So it's
but these people I'm referring to is for people that's already in a relationship, not no new people. Like, what do you do? Like, if this person I think was married, she's married 17 years. Mm-hmm. And she was like, he thinks she's the reason why they're so successful.
The delusions. Well,
I know it's delusional. That's why I said, like, I remember being that person.
But that takes her being able to carefully and lovingly dismantle all of that, like the false perception that he has of himself. And that's hard to do with a man. It sounds like a man with an ego, for real. Dismantling it is like, especially after 17 years, I imagine he's an older man. That's a battle in and of itself. And then doing it in a way where he doesn't feel attacked. I don't know. I don't really, to me, it feels like it's a very individualized type of strategy that you need, because if I can tell you that a lot of times, I remember one of our friends, she was like, y'all don't ever say I. Y'all always talking about you. I mean, if it helps her to say, this is how I'm feeling like, put it on you. I remember my mom, my dad, he needed to get knee surgery, but he was not ready for it. And they went traveling, and she could tell that he was struggling. Like, they had been walking. They used to take this trip all the time, but they walked the city, And she was like, it looked like it hurt him so bad, but he was still trying to push through. And then she told him, my hip, it hurts so bad. Can we sit and rest? And he was like, yeah, you need to rest. Sure. So they sit down. And she said, once it looked like he was like kind of relaxing, less tense or whatever, they had been sitting for a while. She was like, all right, I think I feel better now. He's like, all right. And she said he walked better. When you feign injury yourself and say it's about you, if somebody feels like they're the reason why this marriage is everything that it is, if you feign injury and you say, I need your help because I'm struggling, and this person, you handle everything, you know what to do, I need you to come with me. Because there are going to be some things I'm going to need to talk about, or I don't feel comfortable. And I know that you could probably explain. And maybe him coming in as an expert and as a support, but in this in this environment, it might help. But it's all a matter of finding out where is the resistance at, and then finding your way around the resistance in a different way. And for you, a lot of it was not finessing you, but making it where it wasn't your fault. It wasn't about you. It wasn't any.
Oh, it was not at all.
Yeah. If it's about me, it takes pressure off of you to feel like we're going in here to fix me. That's not what we're trying to do. We're going in because I need this help. I think that's
a great way to look at it.
Yeah, probably.
Take a lot of pressure off on your partner to support you.
Now, the problem is if the partner is like, there ain't nothing wrong, or I don't want to do that. I mean, if they're still, pushing back, but.
Well, then why are they married?
Yeah.
At some point, you need to be able to
Yeah, but at 17 years, it's hard to say.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But I feel like if she says, I need your support, and this is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That counselor is able to unlayer so many things for this man to see how strong his wife is.
Well, and that's one of the things is you have to have that initial conversation with the therapist yourself and say, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm thinking about, and pulling that person in. But I really do feel like somebody who feels like they are the glue that keeps everything together, you are the one, then come and be the one right here and help me. Even if it's really in the background, it's a group effort to help everybody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's disarming people and not making them feel like they're the ones that need to be fixed. It's something about people. We don't want to be fixed.
We don't. We want to, if we do, we want to be the one fixing it.
Yeah. We want to be able to determine how it goes. But a lot of times, if you leave it up to that person, it's never going to get done.
Unless they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. They have some epiphany and they're like, you know what I need to do. But a lot of the times, you're not going to find that. So.
And so that's the reason why the woman is the epiphany.
Oh, the walking epiphany?
She is. If he ever, like I told her, if he ever understands how important you are for that marriage, he won't ever stop getting better.
Yeah. You just have to get him.
Yeah, to understand, the only reason why you look this good is because she's around. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Well, and that's hard to convince some.
I know.
With this husband who feels like
I think most
of why the marriage is successful is because of them.
Yeah, it takes a mature man to believe that the woman is the real MVP. The only reason why you look this good is because of that woman.
That woman.
That woman.
Yeah.
Anybody want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
No. As per usual. No, I want to give it out to the women who are trying to, not even the women, the partner in the relationship that's trying to figure out how to preserve the good and kind of do away with the bad. You're constantly trying to improve so that you can be happy. Yeah. Because that's some work.
It is. And that's what it is. It's just work. If you're not doing it on purpose, you're hoping for a miracle. You can't win no championship if you're not in the gym. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose.